And the big news of this week is Ricciardo picking up the drive for AlphaTauri. And that's, to be fair, that is surprising news. Nick de Vries has done 10 races this season. Hasn't performed very well. And as we all know, Helmut Marko is not adverse to giving someone the boot. Now, the question though, is why Ricciardo and not Lawson? Now, I can think of a number of reasons, and let's get into it. Now, I think the biggest advantage in bringing in Ricciardo is that he's a known quantity. They know exactly what to expect, and it gives them a yardstick. They get to measure Tsunoda against him. I mean, to be fair, Tsunoda is, De Vries hasn't been any competition to him. Which means, if they can see how he performs against Ricciardo, that gives them some clues for coming seasons. It'll give them some guidance on what they're going to do in the future. So, with Ricciardo, they know what they're getting. He knows what he's getting. No surprises, and that's a big thing, especially mid-season. So, even though I would expect there'd be a race or two to get Daniel back into the groove, it shouldn't take him long. Now, I can also think of a couple of cons. Daniel isn't Alonso, and with his age, he's 34 now? Is that going to affect it? I mean, with him being 34 for Red Bull, the longevity's just not there. If they'd brought in Lawson's got a whole career ahead of him. He's just a young gun. Next point, regarding Lawson, what are you going to do with him? Where's he going to go for a year? With the assumption that Ricciardo sees out this year, does well enough, has the seat next year. I can't see them getting rid of Chico yet. Maybe, possibly, but I just can't see it. So that's going to be that seat tied up. So if Ricciardo shows up, if Ricciardo shows up Tsunoda, do you ditch him and then bring Lawson in? And if you do that, doesn't that mean the last couple of years have been a bit of a waste? Yeah, there's a lot to think about. So what does the 21-year-old Lawson bring to things? Well, currently competing in the Super Formula Championship, he's had 3 wins in that, and I think he's sitting in second currently, fighting for the top spot. There's not much in it. He's been pretty successful in most of the series he's tried. So, from the Toyota Racing Series, F4, Australian F4, the F3 Asian Championship, the Formula 3 Championship, Formula 2, DTM, and the DTM seasons, yeah. But he's quick, and he adapts quickly, and I'd have no problem seeing him in one of those seats. So that's Lawson. It's going to be interesting. I would think either driver in this car would be fine, But as good as Denny Rick is, I still only see it as a short-term gig. I just cannot see the longevity there. Whereas Lawson, if Lawson was good and adapted well, you could see him one or two things. You could see one or two things. He'd either be there for a while, or he'd be there until he proved that he was good enough for the main team. And again, we got some drivers aging out. Well, they should be aging out. Chico's not young, and he's going to have to pull finger, because after a promising start to this season, he's just too many mistakes. Too much is going wrong. And patience is not Red Bull's virtue.